Sports fans, what's going on, everybody? My name is Stuart V for Venom Sports, and you know we spit that fire, man. We got a huge game. Now, it doesn't seem huge at the surface, but when you really think about where these two teams are headed in their respective seasons, this game looms very large for both teams involved. And the game I'm referring to is Alabama State University out of the FCS and the SWAC Conference, and Auburn University SEC FBS football team. Now, when you look at this at the surface, it just appears to be one of those the usual cupcake games that the FBS teams play, until getting revved up for conference play. And in many ways, that is what it is. However, neither one of these teams can afford to look at this game as just a game to go through the motions and just get through to get to their conference play. Because Alabama State, for example, has aspirations of their own. They're hoping to regain their once renowned prominence in the SWAC conference. Alabama State finally defeated Tuskegee, which is their Division II nemesis. I understand, y'all, it's a Division II school, and Alabama State should have straight waxed Tuskegee. But let me tell you, it took overtime for Alabama State to beat Tuskegee. And looking at the chronology of victories, prior to winning this game, Alabama had only beaten Tuskegee 4 times in the last 18 meetings. Alabama State historically is a huge force in the FCS, and they just want to get back on track, y'all. The Hornets have now going back to last season. Let's look at this now. Going back to last season, the Hornets have won 6 out of their last 7 games. That is very huge, including beating Tuskegee was very, very huge for them. But they got some stuff that they need to work on to even be competitive against Auburn. Alabama State was outgained 482 to 292 yards against Tuskegee. They did manage to control the time of possessions, and they also forced 3 crucial turnovers, which turned out to somewhat be the difference of the game. Also, they got to get their defense off the field. Alabama State allowed Tuskegee 23 first downs. Not an impressive win for the Hornets, but they keep their somewhat winning streak going, winning 6 out of the last 7 games and beating a team that has been somewhat of a nemesis to them. Now, Auburn University. Auburn is coming off a very much needed win over Washington, a top 10 team, something that they haven't done since 1957. However, Auburn can't celebrate too long because LSU looms right around the corner for the Tigers. Now, when you look at a game like this for Auburn, now, I just don't think there's any way that they lose this game. I don't think losing or winning is as important as to what you accomplish, what success or failures you have in this particular game. And one area that Auburn absolutely has to work on, outside of the drama they have going on with their offensive line, the secondary has some questions. They got to turn around and find the football. Had way too many pass interference calls against Washington. But one thing that has plagued Auburn and has probably kept them out of that little area of prominence and dominance in the SEC and the FBS at large is they can't score touchdowns historically in the red zone. And that's something that they have to absolutely change. One thing that I did notice in the Washington game is one of the issues that they're having, they don't have no problem getting down in the red zone. The issue becomes the play calling. In a lot of the cases, even the touchdown they scored, Auburn is always 3rd and 7 or better or more in the red zone. And what that does for you is when you're 3rd and 7 in the red zone, that limits your play calling, because typically you're not going to be able to run to get the first down or to score. You're going to have to throw the ball. And when you're trying to throw the ball in the red zone, it's a very low percentage because your spacing is not where it needs to be to complete the typical passes. So what I think Auburn needs to do is they need to concentrate on controlling the down and distance. And how do you do that? You do that by calling the right plays on first down. I think in Auburn's case, they could be better served to utilize the tight end for some out routes, get you a situation where you're 2nd and 5 and you're above the down and distance, to where you have some options on 2nd down. Instead of having that usual 3rd and 7, which is that tricky area where it's too far to run the ball, but it puts you in low percentage passing situations. So that's what Auburn has to concentrate. The second thing they need to concentrate on is they need to make sure that their successes in this particular game is something that can translate over to something that they will be able to do against another Power 5 team. You know, Auburn absolutely does not need a situation where they are, you know, running touchdowns back, fumbles back for touchdowns in order to win, or they are, interception returns for touchdowns, or they're scoring off of busted plays. They need to have sustainable plays that will translate over, that would be successful against a Power 5 team. And that's just the bottom line. They're going to have to, they can't just live off of lucky plays or plays that will be unrealistic. Because if they look at the play and they say, okay, that wouldn't work against Florida, okay, that wouldn't work against LSU, though, that's how you measure your success in a game like this. Beating Alabama State 55-0 off of a bunch of busted plays serves you no purpose. So what I'm looking for is a relatively competitive game. I think these are two great programs in their own right, in their own respective genres of football. Alabama State trying to get back on track in the SWAC conference. They used to be big-time powerhouses in the SWAC conference, winning mythical black college national championships back in the 90s. They're trying to get to that version of Alabama State. And Auburn is trying to get over the hump. It's trying to get over the hump to be the national contender that they wish to be. Once again, my name is Stuart V for Venom Sports, and we spit that fire. This is going to be an interesting matchup between Alabama State and Auburn this coming weekend. The game actually comes on at 6:30. It's going to be televised on the SEC network. You all have a great day, and remember, we spit that fire. Like, comment, subscribe. You all have a great day.